Hi everybody, welcome to Investonomics. So in this video we're going to talk about Byjus, and recently the company has been in a lot of trouble because of the fact that they took a lot of time, at least 18 months to release the financial year 2021 results. So what happened is the trouble started when the big four accounting firm Deloitte, they refused to sign off the financials for the company because of the certain accounting practices the company has adopted. What was the reason why Deloitte did not want to sign off the financial results for the company? Because they believed that certain numbers that company is posting are, not genuine, they believed, and they wanted to write off at least 1,000 plus crore rupees of the revenues. So the company recently posted their results and they have reported losses of approximately 4,500 crore plus rupees. And if we compare it to the previous financial year, it was at least 250 plus crore rupees. So you could see that there is a 20 times jump in the total number of losses for the company. So the question here is, like, if the management of the company were so positive about the performance of the company, then where did it all go wrong? So to understand this question, we have to look at the main revenue sources for the company. So there are three revenue sources for the company. First is the course fee. So they conduct online tutoring classes and they get paid session by session. Second source of revenue is the streaming fees. So basically children can access online classes via the streaming services and they pay for it separately. And the third and the most important revenue source for the company is, if you pay attention, it's the tablet and the SD card. So this basically what is that the company sells these tablets and SD cards, and it's basically targeting the lower income class people. So they sell these products to these people, and over the course of time, these people pay for the services that are already pre-stored, pre-recorded in these tablets. So they pay for these services separately. So the problem here is when the sales of these tablets is made, what Byjus does, they recognize the revenue right up front. So the revenue is recognized up front. So the problem here arises is that what if the customer does not pay? What if the customer does not pay, or they simply cancel their subscription and they do not pay? And also one more thing, friends, to certain people who cannot afford these services, what Byjus does is they give a loan. So the Byjus investors like BlackRock, they give loans to the customers of Byjus, and Byjus also act as a guarantor in these loans. So if the customer defaults, that makes Byjus liable to pay for these default payments. So you could see where the problem here is. So is Byjus a serial acquirer? In the recent past, Byjus has acquired quite a lot of number of companies. If you look at major online education platforms like Topper or Grade Up or Great Learning, Scholar, Akash, Whitehead Junior. So company has acquired quite a lot of number of companies recently, and they received a lot of backlash when they acquired online coding platform for children, which is called Whitehead Junior. So the company paid at least 1,300 plus crore rupees for this acquisition. And so far, if we look at the contribution of Whitehead Juniors to the revenue of the company, so Whitehead Junior has contributed a mere 300 plus crore rupees to the total revenues, but they have contributed at least 1,300 plus crore rupees to the overall losses of the company. So this acquisition, we could say that is not being very fruitful for Byjus at the moment. And other than that, if we talk about their other acquisition, which was for Akash Institute, so they paid at least 1,900 crore rupees plus for acquiring Akash. And right now this acquisition is still pending and it is seeking approval from the National Company Law Tribunal, which is NCLT. Other than this, company has also a lot of debt, so they have to pay at least 2,000 crore in debt right now, which they owe to their investors. As we can see that company has been acquiring a lot of companies, which is reasonable, because in order to grow you have to expand your overall business. But the point here is, where is the money coming from? So first of all, we need to look at the expenses of the company. So if you look at this particular infographic, you could see the company is spending a lot of money. In financial year 2021 alone, company's expenses stood at 7,000 plus crore rupees, out of which most of the expenses went towards the marketing and legal expenses. Other than this, company also spent a lot of money on the IPO sponsorship, approximately 2,200 plus crore rupees. So company has been spending a lot of money and also they are not making profit right now. So this raises a lot of questions at the moment. If you look at the infographic, you could see that the employee benefit expenses has risen quite a lot as compared to financial year 2020. This tells us that the company, the top management executive at least, they got a lot of ESOPs, which is basically employee stock option plans. So this tells us that the company has been planning to come up with a public IPO, so the top management could cash in when the company goes public. So all of these expenses are there, friends. So the question arises, at whose expense does these expenses are coming from? So if you look at the teachers' expenses, so you could see that in the financial year 2020, the expenses occurred on the teachers who are providing all these services was 0 rupees, and in 2021 it was mere 200 plus crore rupees. So the expenses towards teacher is quite low. So to conclude this video, we could say that the road ahead for Byjus is going to be really tough because the financials of the company does not inspire a lot of confidence among the investor community. A lot of complaints are there for the company from the customers and as well as from the investors side. Right now, to me personally, it seems that Byjus need to adapt a more customer-centric policy rather than a management-centric one. And they also need to start treating their sales force more humanely so that company could tackle the predatory sales practices which the company had been accused of in the past. This is the need of the hour given the rise of the free online education on various social media platforms like the YouTube. A lot of free education, online education is available on YouTube for free. So if Byjus need to compete with them, they need to adapt and change as well. Otherwise, company will have a really tough time ahead as well as they might not be able to compete in the future because we have already seen various examples of the companies like Nokia's and the Kodaks of the world who were very big in the past, but since they were not able to adopt, those companies diminished with time. So that is it from my side, guys. Thank you very much for watching.